This is why you shouldn't move to Colorado Springs. Watch the video all the way to the end and we'll give you lots of the things that we feel like would keep you away and why other people have decided not to live here. Hey guys, really quick before we get into the meat of this video, I just wanted to say really fast, if you haven't done so already, number one, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell down below. We put at least 2 videos out a week, and I want you to stay updated on all the new videos we have coming out about the area, so that way you can stay in tune to what's happening, things to do, and check out all the cool stuff out here. Also, I wanted to say, if you've got any questions whatsoever, please do not hesitate to call us at our team number, 719-266-2725. You can also email us at info@jdmret.net, and we will get back to you as quickly as possible. And that's any questions with anything whatsoever, whether it's real estate related or just coming out here to visit or moving to this area, anything you've got question-wise, or even if you've got something else that you want to just mention that might be a great video to be able to do that you haven't seen yet, please reach out. You can either call that number at 719-266-2725 or shoot us that email at info@jdmret.net, or you can also post a comment in the messages below and we will absolutely get back to you as quickly as possible to answer all those. We service this area, we live in this area, and we represent this area. We love working here. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. All right, so today we're talking about reasons why we shouldn't live in Colorado Springs, or why maybe you wouldn't want to live in Colorado Springs. So a little bit of a weird video, because that's what not folks expect realtors to come out and actually try to talk people out, but we want people to know what things are out there that
definitely,
you know, that you want to know up front before you're just like, oh my gosh, you didn't tell me it hailed out here. Like, these are massive amounts of hail and my windows are busted. Stuff like that. So so I got Diane Oatman with me again today, who lives down in the North Colorado Springs area. She has experienced some of these things, I'm sure, down there. And then I live up in the Pikes Peak area, and I've also experienced some of these things also. So big one that's always a big hit, weather. So what are some weather things that you guys have had that are just kind of like, you know, I could definitely do without that?
So regarding the weather, we live out on the prairie side. So we have on 5 acres, we have like 5 trees. So the wind really hits us hard.
Oh, wow.
So in 10 years, we had to change the windows out. The glass on the window, because it's double pane and there's gas in between, so it starts quarreling.
Yeah.
And so that means that the gas has escaped. So definitely that's one of the things that I really don't like. And in addition to the wind is the black ice.
Yeah, so not only do you get black ice, but you get the wind to blow you off the road too.
Yes.
So yeah, wind is something, and I'll tell you guys too, it doesn't matter where you live in Colorado, wind is always going to be something that you're going to feel out here, especially in the transitioning seasons. So we do have some very temperate and nice temperatures, I think, in the sense of like what it feels like with dealing with winter compared to other places back east with a lot of humidity. But the wind can take that feeling of niceness away very quickly. You could have a day in the springtime where it's like 60 degrees, but there's 50 mile an hour, 60 mile an hour gusts, or sometimes even higher. And it feels way colder and way worse
That's
than
right.
60 degrees.
Yeah. Because on one side of your house, it's like 10 degrees colder than on the opposite side of your house when you're outdoors. So you want to try to do your gardening on the side where there's less wind that day.
I just recently spent some time up about 15 feet up on a ladder with my wife holding it on the bottom in 40 mile an hour gusts. That was not something I would advise, and it was terrifying. So, but just know wind is definitely a big one. Black ice is another big one too, especially this time of year in the springtime. So we get that weird phenomena where, like in the wintertime, you don't have it as much because it's so cold typically.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But in the springtime, and sometimes in the fall, but usually in the springtime, it's too warm in the day to snow.
Yes.
The ground's warm. So it melts and it makes puddles, and then at nighttime the temperature drops and it freezes, and you get lots of black ice, especially out on the plains. Like if you get out east of Colorado Springs.
And you know, like with the black ice, it could be camouflage like while you're driving, you think it's just a puddle of water. But oh my God, I've experienced it, and I have slipped into the ditch on black ice. My
Yeah.
personal experience, and almost totaled the vehicle. My daughter totaled my husband's truck on black ice.
Yep.
So
That'll do it. That'll definitely do it. Another big one, since we're talking about weather right now, is hail. So in the summertime, usually we don't have too much hail issues. In the winter and springtime, it kind of transitions, and fall time. But when we get thunderstorms, we get hail a lot out here. And hail is crazy because your neighbor could get pelted with hail and you could get nothing out there. I mean,
correct,
you just end up in the downburst of it. But that's, I think, why a lot of folks want, and why I like to have garages, or at least places, where you can store your vehicles, because it could destroy a vehicle's windshield pretty quickly.
Definitely. You have to have good insurance, good car insurance, and stay good with your insurance agent.
Yeah.
That is a must, because between the hail damage and windscreen damage, definitely you are going to be up in the running for changing those things out and accessing your insurance to cover those liabilities.
Yeah, so make sure you shop around for insurance if you guys are coming up here too, because like I was a USAA member for almost 20 years. Where I live up in the mountains, they kind of zoned us in with a lot of the places down at Fort Carson, which Fort Carson, that area has a lot more hail, I think, than a lot of, it's like a hail alley down in that area. So there was a lot of claims that happened with the folks that worked down at Fort Carson. And it drove our premiums up like twice as much as what it would have been somewhere else. So we ended up switching to a different insurance carrier because of that specific reason. So it's not just the cars, but it's also the homes too when you couple those together. So make sure you shop around on that. Hail is something that you're just going to have to live with out here. It comes, it's not something that's predictable, other than the fact that when you see a thunderstorm, there's a good chance there's going to be hail involved in some way, shape, or form. And just watch out for that. You get lots of good news warnings or weather warnings on the different weather apps that can kind of tell you about that stuff. So that's easily, I think, some of the biggest things why people don't like living here, is because of the crazy front range weather that we can get. Another big one's altitude.
Definitely.
Because how high is your house?
It's 7,600.
I'm at 9,200.
Oh my God.
But still, though, you guys are over a mile also, and most of the city's over a mile in Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
There's a reason why.
5280.
Exactly. There's a reason why Colorado Springs is where the Olympic Training Center is.
Yes.
This is one of the best places for athletes to train with that oxygen deprivation. It causes their body to form and to adapt. But that's something to certainly think about. If you're thinking about coming out here and you've got health issues, I would consult your doctor on that stuff. Usually down in the Colorado Springs area, it's a lot more mild than up in the mountains, and you can go up and still enjoy the mountains, just don't maybe live up there if altitude's a major issue. I've seen a lot of doctors, and I don't understand the science behind this, but they'll usually say 8,500 feet is the limit for some folks. There's places up in Palmer Divide you can get up to 8,500 feet.
That is correct.
As well. So don't just think because you're in the Colorado Springs area. Diane's a great example. She's in the north side. She's 7,000 feet. That's a couple thousand feet different than what you could see down in the Fountain area or the Colorado Springs downtown area.
We're always like 10 degrees cooler. So leaving downtown Colorado Springs and heading home, by the time I get home, it's 10 degrees cooler. But with that weather comes the dryness. The high elevation comes the dryness. And for me, the thing that I don't like is that I have constantly be using like lotions, chapstick, making sure that your hair has like leave-in conditioner so that you're not dried out. Like literally drink a lot of water.
Yes, that's something I see clients that come from out of state all the time. They're always surprised how much water they need to drink. And when your body's not used to that, obviously there's some secondary effects that happen with that, like having to use the bathroom a whole lot. So, but that's just until your body gets adjusted. But Diane's absolutely right. So as a man, I've never been in a place where I felt like I need to put lotion on. If I don't do it here, I mean, you got that choice. You don't have to, but you're going to battle cracked cuticles, cracked hands, cracked lips, all kinds of stuff that happens from that because we are very arid and very dry. But on the flip side, that is what kind of helps the heat not seem as bad in the summer times.
Yes.
And also what kind of keeps the coldness when there's no wind from feeling so bad in the wintertime too.
Yeah.
So there's trade-offs for that. But yeah, altitude and dryness.
For sure.
That's a good one. Another one that we see, and I think a lot of folks, especially our military clients, they come out here are super surprised about, and both of us moved out here with the military move. You moved with your husband, went EPCS, and I PCS'd out here to the Fort Carson area, and compared to other places around bases specifically, it's very competitive for homes out here. And I don't think that, I mean, I know we just came out of a very hot seller's market and it's cooled down a little bit. It's still pretty competitive because of lack of inventory. But even like when my wife and I moved out here in, the 2015 time frame, that was still very competitive. And when you guys moved out here,
actually,
it was very competitive, wasn't it?
That was when we had the bubble in 2008.
Okay,
so we got lucky in that period.
Yeah.
And so we were able to purchase our house that was valued actually more than we actually paid for it.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
So we got a really, really good deal on our house on 5 acres.
Well, and that was a great financial crisis that we had back in 2008 to 2010 time frame, depending on who you talk to. So you guys did get very lucky.
We got very lucky.
That.
The planets lined up for us on that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's insane though, like Southern Colorado, not Southern Colorado, but like Southern Colorado Springs and the Fountain area. I remember coming here in 2015 and talking to people and still having friends, and we talk to clients out there all the time too. There's so much transition that happens to the military around these bases. There's constant movement, but I mean, those homes go quick, especially in the medium price ranges. When you're looking in that like 400 range, they go so fast out there. And the thing that, as of right now, hopefully the administrations continue to change this, BAH just really doesn't cover the expenses of living out here too, which kind of sucks coming out here in the military side too. So just know you are going to be competing. We can definitely help you find a home, but just know it's going to be hard out here. So then you're between the rock and the hard place. Do I live on base and deal with those wonderful on-base housing contractors that are just so well known for taking care of their soldiers and airmen?
Yes.
And I think the Air Force is better than the Army does in a lot of ways. Or do you want to play the gambit of trying to find a home out here too? So we can definitely find you a home, but just know it's super competitive. On the non-military side, it's very competitive as well.
Yes.
I mean, Black Forest, there's so many plans right now that we've heard that are going into effect as Black Forest grows. So
on the northeastern section of Black Forest, which is bordering Meridian and Hodgen, they have 767 acres of development taking place there.
Yeah.
But what's really exciting about that development is that almost 145 acres are set aside for open space and planned trails. So.
Yeah, because when people come out here, they want to be able to enjoy open space and going out and walking the dogs and all that fun stuff too. Right. So,
but coming back to a little bit of what I don't like is in relation to the high elevation, you're going to have the higher risk of sunburn.
Yeah.
And so we talked about lotioning. Let me put in a shameful plug here for Cetaphil. I use Cetaphil. Definitely sunblock.
Yeah, and that's coming from somebody from the Caribbean too. So, and I was stationed in Hawaii for about 4 or 5 years. Hawaii's got a strong sun too. This place will catch you by surprise so quick, and I think it's because it doesn't get as hot as some other areas, so you don't feel it as much. But man, it will fry you in a heartbeat, especially in the summertime. Even in the winter, though, with the sun bouncing off the snow.
Yes, and snow blindness is a big thing here. With the sun, the intensity of the sun and the snow and the white snow, you got to have shades. So let's recap: body lotion, chapstick, sunblock, and sunglasses.
Yes. And I'm blue-eyed. I've got to wear sunglasses even on a cloudy day. My eyes. You definitely want sunglasses out here. That's for sure. I never go anywhere without my sunglasses out here. And then lastly, with that dryness and everything that comes out of it too, Our natural disaster out here is wildfires.
Yep.
And that's not just up in the mountains.
That is,
it's down in Colorado Springs.
So back in 2012, we had the Black Forest wildfire.
Yeah.
And luckily, we had to be evacuated because of smoke inhalation. Because we have ceiling fans for cooling.
Yeah.
So the house is not equipped with AC or HVAC. And so they had us evacuated even though there was no fire right around the house. So that was in itself very traumatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I could imagine. And last year, so first of all, just know and understand, I've lived all over the United States. Diane's lived all over the United States. There's always some kind of natural disaster wherever you live, whether it's tornadoes, hurricanes. Wildfire is a big one out west that we deal with all the time. And it's just one of those things you got to be responsible for when you come out here too. Last year, we had a bad start of fire season. We had a lot of drought and dryness coming into the springtime and summer. And there were and lots of winds, which when you get those red flag wind days, those are days you don't smoke cigarettes and flick a bud outside the car. You don't start a campfire. You don't start a fire pit in your backyard. You don't do charcoal grilling, because those winds will blow those embers. There was a couple fires down off I-25 in Colorado Springs. Thank God our fire departments did a phenomenal job keeping any buildings or any homes from catching fire. But just because you're in the city doesn't mean that you're, completely immune from stuff like that happening. So
certainly.
Yeah. So, well, there you've got some reasons why probably not to live here. We obviously love it, but we also just wanted you guys to know, these are some things that we don't really care for as much, but if they're big deals for you, maybe this isn't the place for you, but we definitely want you to see and know not just the positives, but also the negatives of living here within the Colorado Springs area. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. And I just want to say again, really quick before you send off the page, make sure you hit that subscription button and that notification bell down below. That keeps you updated with all the new videos that we got coming out each week. And also, if you got any questions whatsoever for us, we are local experts of these areas, and we are local real estate agents within these areas. And we love helping people out. We got people calling us all the time for these, but please just call us 719-266-2725, or you can email us at info@jdmret.net. And we look forward to hearing from you and seeing you next time.